Hey, so I wanted to take a minute to share some of my personal picks, recommendations for the festival this weekend. Like You Children's Film Festival, November 22nd and 23rd at the Pink Palace. Every time someone asks me, what should I see? I just freeze because it's so hard to make a recommendation because there's just so much to see and it's all so good. I love it all. I want to recommend it all. It's hard to single things out. So I figured the best way to make some recommendations was to kind of split it up into a few different categories. You know, I'm wearing a lot of hats here as a dad, as a film programmer, as a filmmaker, and film lover. And they're speaking to different people. I might recommend different films. So since I'm wearing a lot of hats, that I literally wear a lot of hats as I make recommendations. Starting with my dad hat, World's Best Dad. Custom made for me by my kids, so you know it's true. As a dad, and what would I say to parents coming to the festival, I've got to highlight the kid-made short film block happening Saturday morning. Films by kids. What's not to love? There's a few local kids and kids who submitted from all around the world sharing films that they made, including my daughter has a film in there. How'd she get in? But I also want to highlight thinking as a parent, story time. We've got a story time Saturday morning with Brad and Christy Montague. New York Times bestselling authors will be sharing some from their own work, including a preview of a new book, I hear potentially. Brad Montague will also be later in the day doing a special behind the scenes presentation about the making of his YouTube show, Zip and the Tiny Sprouts, which has voices from Bluey, who voice characters on Zip and the Tiny Sprouts. So if you're a Bluey fan, if you're a Brad Montague Kid President fan, you're going to want to be there for the Zip and the Tiny Sprouts. I've also got to highlight another friend, Anna Skates, is doing another special presentation of her own show together with Miss Anna. Her show is a modern version of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. If Fred Rogers was a millennial woman with sleeve of tattoos. I watched it with my 8-year-old daughter, and at the end of it, she said, "She seems cool. I wish I could hang out with her." Well, guess what? We're actually going to have Miss Anna here. She'll be hanging out and crafting with the kids after watching her show. And then I've got to highlight two of the films that my family loved as my kids were helping me screen films. The Colors Within is playing Sunday night, and it is a Japanese film about some students who start a band. And again, my 8-year-old, after we watched this one, she turned to me. She's got great comments after the films, and she said, "That was better than K-pop Demon Hunters." Now, don't take my word for it. That's coming from my 8-year-old. Another one my family really loved was Salta. This is a Spanish language film with subtitles on screen. It is a time travel story about a kid who jumps through a wormhole and goes to the future and meets his brother who's now grown and thinks that his brother disappeared 30 years ago. I love time travel stories, so I was fascinated by this one, and it was a hit with my whole family. So that's the dad hat. I'm gonna move on to my filmmaker hat. All right, filmmaker hat, got my Sidewalk Film Festival hat on. If anyone has an old Indie Memphis hat, I'll buy it from you. I regret that I never got one of those, but I love Sidewalk too. So this is my filmmaker hat. If you're a filmmaker, if you're someone who goes to film festivals, if you think this is a kids fest, there's nothing there for me, these are my recommendations for you because we do have a lot for you. Starting with Color Book, which is our Parenthood Spotlight feature. Look, this film premiered at Tribeca. It's won awards in Chicago and Denver and Austin and Palm Springs. It's been making that round of the general festival circuit and doing really well. I first saw it at Sidewalk Film Festival earlier this summer. Fell in love with it and had to bring it here. We're calling it a Parenthood Spotlight because it is not a kid's film. It's a story about a father and son and their relationship, and definitely fits with the overall ethos of our festival, but there are some more mature scenes that So we're recommending it more for 12 and up, and really for adults, for parents, for film lovers. Maya Give Me a Title is another that I think general film lovers are going to love. It's a stop motion animated film by Michel Gondry, who hopefully you know that name, the director of Eternal Sunshine and a lot of other things. While he was traveling making films and shooting commercials and things like that as a director, he would often be away from his daughter Maya, and they developed this relationship of Maya would send him an idea for a story and he would create a stop motion film around it. And that became this film, the stories that they were creating together as a father and daughter. And it's a lot of fun, can't recommend it enough. Story and Pictures By is the one feature documentary we have this year. It's a documentary about picture books and their impact. The way they can take big ideas and distill them down into a simple story and a simple message that can really shape how kids see themselves and how they see the world. And there's so much in this film that you could take the word picture book and take that out and put in the word children's films or children's film festival, and that impact of big ideas and big stories and helping kids see the world in a new way. There's so much that resonated with me as a picture book lover, but also as a curator of a children's film festival. Also want to highlight for filmmakers and general audience film lovers, the short film block I think you need to go to is Finding Your Place. This is a lot of coming of age films. I think just about this entire block, you could pick it up and put it into an Indie Memphis, a Sidewalk, a Nashville Film Festival. And there are films that have played at general audience festivals, but they're all focused on kids' coming of age experiences. And then I've got to, of course, shout out our local films. We're showing Bluff City Chinese and other local stories. Bluff City Chinese, this is all in a block together, but Bluff City Chinese is about a 45-minute documentary about the history of the Chinese immigrant experience in Memphis. It premiered at Indie Memphis last year and was well received. The filmmakers, they told me they wanted to connect with a younger audience, so we're happy to bring it here for that. We'll be supporting that with a few other local films. And, this is something I hope to grow in future editions of the festival. I want to see more local filmmakers making kids and family films, so make that and submit it for next year's festival. Next hat. I put on my Like You Film Club hat. This, of course, is the nonprofit that we started this year to support the festival, but we're also doing year-round family screenings, all with an emphasis on stories that support the emotional growth and mental wellness of kids and families and parents. But this is just my promoting our Like You Film Festival hat. And what I want to say here is every film is amazing. I just want to say don't sleep on the short film blocks. We've got Saturday morning cartoons kicking off the festival. Amazing celebration of animation all around. I want to highlight a hand-drawn animated film called Snow Bear that was created by Aaron Blaise, a former Disney animator. It's just this beautiful hand-drawn animation style that we don't see a lot of anymore. Our Friends and Family Shorts program is full of crowd-pleasing shorts. Some of my favorites, including a film called Capybaras. So I bet if you've got kids, they're into capybaras. We got a film for that in the Friends and Family Shorts block. It also has two of my personal favorite short films in the whole festival, Meet Me in the Woods, and My Friend the Dandelion is also in that Friends and Family Shorts block. It's a stop-motion animated film. The filmmaker, Athena Greenleaf, will be here with us with the stop-motion puppet from the film. Again, I just want to talk all about our shorts programs. Rise Above is full of stories of young people meeting challenges and challenging times. We've got a lot of visiting filmmakers, I think 3 or 4 in that block. I'll highlight one in particular, a short film called Beads of Hope that is about a young girl's Mardi Gras experience during Hurricane Katrina. and it's actually based on real life experience of one of the filmmakers, and it's the first in a series of short films they'll be making about girls of color facing crisis head on in real life stories, in real life situations, but it is an animated series. And then I'm trying to tell everybody about Little Shorts. That's our short film block that was specifically made for, this is your first time in a theater. If you're a 2, 3, 4-year-old kid, we wanted to put together a block of films just for you. To speak to your parents for a second, if you're worried about your kid being able to sit still through a film screening, bring them to this. One, they're welcome at any film screening. We don't care if you want to wiggle and run up and down the aisle. This is a children's film festival and it's for you. But if you as a parent aren't sure about sitting through a long feature, come to this Little Shorts. It is simple, sweet short films. The entire block is about an hour long. That's a good intro to visiting the theater for our youngest audiences. Another good younger audience film is Rosa and the Stone Troll. It is a feature on Sunday morning. Great for your 3 to 6-year-old. It feels like a picture book come to life. Again, it's a feature, but it's on the shorter end of it's about an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes. So, and your kid's going to be on the edge of their seat for that one. Last of all, got to give my no hat recommendations. This is just me, just Noah. Personally, what am I most excited about the festival besides all of it and everything that I've rambled on about? I'm just going to zero in on our wonderfully weird shorts block. It's where everything went, that every film that I loved but didn't quite make sense anywhere else. Look, it opens with a musical number featuring literal pieces of garbage singing about how they're learning to value their self-worth. And it is bookended. It closes with another musical number about this weird little not quite person that has a butt right below his face and is singing about embracing being different and celebrating what makes us all unique. And packed in between those two musical numbers, there's just every sort of bizarre, unclassifiable film you can imagine. If you're someone who goes to film festivals and you like the experimental, weird kinds of blocks, this is our family-friendly kid version of that. So I'm really excited about that one and sharing it with you all. I know probably feels like I talked about every film in the festival. I left a lot out. Every film is worth seeing. Spend some time with our schedule. We have film descriptions, but also parent guidance, age recommendations. You're going to find something for you, for your family, for your kids, or for yourself. And look, even if you don't have kids, there's not kids in your life. If you're just a film lover, like I said, we've got things for you. November 22nd and 23rd at the Pink Palace. 2 days of film and fun. Not to mention, I didn't even get into the workshops and the activity space and all there is to do. So that's my best attempt at trying to keep it short and just recommend a few things. I'm really excited about this weekend and I can't wait to see you all there.